Hey man, it's Rex the dog. So I'm clearly a furry, and maybe you think you're a furry, or maybe you're just curious. But either way, what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about, I guess, kind of like sort of like a tier list, stages, if you will, of of how I've seen some furries interact and exist within sort of the furry fandom. So we're gonna break down these kind of levels of freedom, of furryhood, okay? And follow along kind of what, maybe your average furry's journey is of self-discovery, self-destruction, increasing amounts of money disappearing from your bank account, that sort of thing. So let's go through these stages, these levels of being a furry. The first stage I'm going to classify is the curious observer, right? So this is kind of imagine you're on the internet, you've seen things, I don't know, and one day you're kind of stumbling across, or maybe this happens through a movie, you're stumbling across like an anthropomorphic character you like from a game, an anime, and then you end up just sort of in the depths of Twitter, maybe, let's say. You're a big Sonic the Hedgehog fan, you start looking at more Sonic the Hedgehog stuff online. You saw Zootopia, you start looking at more Zootopia stuff online. You don't quite, get it yet, but there's, something about it. You're feeling your connection to Sly Cooper, or whatever. There's something about it. Something's appealing to you. Maybe you move on. Maybe you think it's just, a passing thought or whatever. But maybe you've just ignited the spark. Okay? Maybe you've ignited the spark. Next step I'm talking about, next stage I'm talking about is the denial phase. I'm looking at dude, I'm going really close to the stages of grief here, aren't I? Maybe we got something to say there. But next thing, I've got the denial stage. So now you're seeing more and more. You're looking more and more into Sonic the Hedgehog. You're looking more and more into Star Fox. I don't know. And you're starting to have opinions, right? Maybe you think that, Crystal from Star Fox Adventures is kind of cute. Maybe you've started watching, you didn't have much of an interest in anime. You don't like slice of life anime, but now you're watching Beastars for some reason, right? But I mean, you've heard about the furries, and I mean, you're not a furry, obviously. Those people are weird. You're just you just like anthropomorphic characters in art, right? You just like that sort of thing. Stage 3, the meme consumer. The meme consumer. So at this stage, you're actually actively consuming furry content. Right? You're actively consuming furry content. But it's ironic, man. You're watching furry TikToks, you've got, a couple of artists you follow, but it's just because they're, super talented, right? And you like art, man. You're also following the anime, maybe some, comic book artists, right? And they're just kind of put in there as well. So it's not about furry, it's about art, It's about art. Because furries are cringe. But you're starting to see little things, cringe but free. You've got your TikTok, creators or whatever, which you're you're ironically following, right? You're ironically following these TikTok creators or whatever. But you're hey, they're cringe, but their suit's kind of cool. Or he's got style. Or whoa, that guy can actually dance. Or yada 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 yada. Right? So maybe you're even commenting. Maybe you're even putting comments you guys are wild, or oh, me never, and commenting on them, but you're in there. Yeah, your algorithm's being fed because it knows. It knows. You might not know yet. You might just be I'm just a meme consumer, but your algorithm knows what's going on deep inside. This is maybe the level where you're saying oh yeah, I'm not a furry, but if I was, I would be a wolf, or I'd be a jackal, or whatever. You've already got it figured out, even though you're not in there. Let's go to my fourth stage that we got, the Fursona Awakening, where those questions that you might have just been contemplating in the stage 3, or become bigger and bigger. You know, you start asking yourself the real questions. You know, the real questions in life, which are, if I was a furry, what species would I be? You know, these are the real questions. You start asking yourself, what colors would my persona have? You start asking yourself, would I have wings, special abilities, a backstory? Is there lore, right? And even if there's no reference sheet yet, even if there's no art, maybe you've done a couple of scribbles. Who knows? Yeah, maybe you've done a couple of scribbles. I don't know. Maybe you got a bit more of an interest in art and doing than you used to in the past. But even if none of that's actually committed to paper or anything like that, you still officially created your first persona. And at this point, I think if you've reached stage 4, you're gonna keep going. Maybe this happens over a period of years. You know, maybe you have the idea of your persona, you know, and it takes you 5 years before you get to this kind of integration phase I would talk about next for stage 5. But I think it's already in motion. It's already in motion at this point. So now you're following furry artists. You might not have engaged with stuff yet, but you know what a commission sheet is, right? You know about your character heroes. You've like low-key considered getting a fursuit, even if you don't really understand like kind of the economy and the what goes into, you know, getting one of those. You've low-key considered, even if it's just like ears and tail just for fun, you know what I mean? You've kind of considered it. And your friends have probably started to notice on some level that like, oh, he always picks like, you know, Lizard Man in Soul Calibur, or he always like, you know, I don't know. We'll go for a stage 6. Okay. This will be our penultimate phase, our penultimate stage, which is the furry immersion of just like, now you're in, you've got an online furry name, you've maybe got a Telegram account, you might have like stopped by, you might have joined a local group or whatever and kind of, you know, tease the idea of going along with a local fur meet or a local convention. You've actually started to commission art and it's starting to like add up and up and up. Maybe you've even got like 2 personas. I don't even know. But like, you're making furry friends, you're engaging in furry communities, and quite honestly, at this point, you're probably thriving. This kind of like sense of community and whatever is probably filling some sort of gap, which you were not filling in other aspects of your life. So you're probably actually thriving, and you're starting to realize that a huge proportion of your social life is now with like animal people. Before like furry stage 7, you know, where kind of I occupy the full furry ascension, where you've become the furry, you are the furry fandom. You are like there are no hands beneath these. These are just paws. You have a Sonic the Hedgehog bed. You know, it's all gone a little bit too far. So I don't know, which level do you consider? Did I get this right? Which sort of stage do you think you're at? Or are you just not a furry? Because I'm going to be honest, I think if you've watched this entire video, then dude, you are definitely at least a stage 2 furry. You're not just a curious observer. This video's like 8 minutes long at this point. You're in a denial phase, so there's like something going on here if you've watched this whole thing. But no, something a little bit goofy for fun. I don't tend to do a lot of videos about furry. I just happen to be a furry who makes videos. But I think I might kind of chuck ones out every now and then, like this one, just for like goofiness. But anyway, comments and that sort of stuff's always really appreciated. There's a link to a bunch of places you can find me in the description below. I do streams all the time. We do them here on YouTube. We do them on Twitch as well. We multi-stream. So if you want to hang out and chat with us in real time, those places exist. If you just want to chat with me in the comment sections, I love all that stuff, man. Any sort of suggestions or anything you're looking for in future videos, please let me know. They will be considered. I do this for community. I do this for feedback. So any sort of ideas you might have, I'd be eager to hear. Lots of love from me, Rex the dog. Bit of fun today. Mwah. Bye.